Hey, so it's another Tech Talk Tuesday with me, Digital Femme. So today we have two guests. One is Hexadized, you all know him, and another one is Lisa Mans. I'm going to be bringing them up right now on Twitter or X. But first of all, I need to make sure that I am going to connect to Metaverse Radio. We're also live streaming on Metaverse Radio, in addition to live streaming on other platforms like Twitch and YouTube. So let me just welcome the guests. Hello, everyone. So glad to have you here. I'm just going to pass the mics to all of you. Thank you so much for joining the space today, Tech Talk Tuesday. I'm just getting settled here. Welcome, Lisa. Welcome, Hexadized, aka Charles. As you know, I'm also live streaming on Metaverse Radio, in addition to a few other video streams. But before we get started, I will say that this program's content does not necessarily represent the views of Metaverse Radio and is for entertainment only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. The hosts, guest speakers, artists, and other collaborators may have personal or financial interest in the subjects they discuss. So please critically assess the information presented. Not all content is appropriate for all ages. Listener discretion is advised. Alrighty then. So we have Lisa here. I threw the mic at Hex. I wonder if he caught it. Hey, Skybox NFT, thank you for joining. I'm going to actually give you a follow. So today's topic is going to be literally about the safety and the protection of and the issues that we find surrounding the youth. I know that primarily right now, Hexadized, Lisa Mans, and we are operating in the Web3 space and Web2 space, and there's a lot of talk in terms of onboarding like children and youth online, especially now when things are getting a little bit combobulated. There's augmented reality, there's artificial intelligence, technology is happening so fast, and the AI and AR are permeating in the normal Web2, like you would say, platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and whatever else social platforms are out there. So the question is, and the question always has been, how are we ensuring the safety and privacy and protection of children? Now, this month, June, is actually International Children's Month. So this is a great time to discuss this topic. I want to, first of all, let's have ladies first. Lisa Mans, thank you so much for joining. Can you please give us a brief, hang on, I'm going to make sure the volume is up here. Oh, the technology. Okay, Lisa, can you just give
works, right?
Yeah, it works when it works. Can you please tell us who you are and give us a little bit of how you came onto what you do and what is it that you represent?
Wow. Okay, so trying to keep it short. I'm a mom of 6, first and foremost, and a grandmother of 8. So those are my daily motivations for everything that I do. And I try to live my life, at least now, as if they're 100% of the time they can see, hear, and do everything that I see, hear, and do. So, that having been said, a few years ago, I got irritated because I caught a 30-day ban on Facebook. And I, being the pirate soul that I am, said, why am I getting banned for this? This is stupid. And I sat with a friend and we talked for probably 2 hours. And it came down to why. Because kids are online. And I had to think about it. I really had to think about it. Why would, there are laws out there. As a normal, if you would have told me 5-6 years ago that I would be doing what I'm doing, I would have laughed at you. because I didn't know. And I lived ignorantly, innocently and ignorantly, to what the laws really do and what they mean. Mark Cuban once said, "We live in a litigious society," and we do. The law that everybody sees publicly more than anything is COPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act. And you see millions and billions of dollars being fined to these corporations because they have collected data knowingly or unknowingly on children under the age of 13. But the law is written as a chicken and egg theory because you can't collect the data necessary to know that a child or a minor online is under the age of 13 without collecting the data. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
yes.
so what I said was, well, I want to create a space where kids can learn in a healthy manner how, digital citizenship. I wanted to create basically a Facebook for kids. Okay. And I went through everything I wanted to put on there and it's still in it's still in a like an Excel spreadsheet. It's awesome. But when I got down to it, I said, this is great. And it would be phenomenal for kids. But would I put my kids on here without knowing 100% that the only people that were on here had been properly vetted as adults in charge, right? To maintain, civility and work on the project, or they were actually minors? Because we can't, with the anonymity of the internet, we can't know that. There was no security system. The trust system that we currently work under has failed epically across multiple verticals. So I had to come up with a solution. And being the non-tech partner, because really back then, I was real comfortable with the on button, and that was about it. I had to find people who could build the solution with me and for me, that I could trust, and that that I knew had the same level of passion about keeping kids safe. And it's not so much safe. It is safe from predators, right? And predatory behavior, especially during, Children's Online Safety Month. We're talking about digital citizenship and things, but it's also being safe from themselves too. But that's not my job, and that's not corporations' jobs either.
I'm glad
That's a parent's job.
Exactly, 100%. I'm glad you brought that up. Well, thank you so much for just giving that intro about yourself. We'll definitely do a deep dive on more of what you do. I do feel that there's a great need for that. Thank you for pioneering that charge, or being one of. I do want to bring up Hexadized. For I do want to bring up Hexadized. So please, Hex, please come on and give us a little brief intro about yourself and what it is you do in the space regarding children.
So brief history about myself. And regarding kids, yeah, really that's how I got started inside of this whole thing back in 2021. If you go and Google search the history, you'll find Hexadized 2021. Boom. That's where we really kicked off, and it was with kids. It was using augmented reality platforms like Over the Reality, and just going through that process and starting to really go deeper into the AI. At that time, a lot of the talk was with blockchain platforms like blockchain platforms like Roblox. all of us were talking blockchain and talking about Roblox and using Second Life and Roblox as the examples. But Roblox was the big thing, especially with kids. And a lot of the talk, since we're talking safety, and Roblox is a great example, I think, of some of the things that, the ways things can play out, right? So even with different safety measures, there's certain limits that it just doesn't reach. But yeah, so that kind of got us started in with the kids. My own kids, I do have 5 kids, my own self. And so working with the kids, and it's been a goal to have education and different tools accessible to anyone, anywhere. And especially now in this day and age, we thought we could learn anything with YouTube before. Now we really have so much information just at our fingertips. And so, just the possibilities. And so really what we've started, and Honeycomb's in here, is, and you're a part of this as well, from what I understand, with Real MetaMinds and the Generational Learning Lab, is what we're going to start bringing. So not just focused on one age group, right? Because there's all this technology is new for everybody all at the exact same time. And so we can learn how to use these tools together, and maybe by learning them together, right, as parents and as kids going into these things together, maybe we can learn some of the safety, guidelines, because it's going to be a learning experience for all of us. There's when cars first came out, we didn't have seatbelts. It wasn't until many years later down the road that they were like, hey, now it's a rule. You have to have these in here. And so we realized that this is just a good thing. And so there's going to be bad things. There's going to be things that happen just like with cars, and we all love our cars now. And we're still learning that there's better things we do. Now we have pillows that pop out of the side. So that it's in short and in long, that was us in the nutshell with what's going on and our impact with kids. And not to mention the augmented reality debuted at South by Southwest with Heidi Little, right? We could go on, but I'll digress.
No, don't digress. We definitely can go on. So just so you know, Heidi Little, she is the CEO and founder of International Children's Month. I believe she started it last year, or maybe I could be wrong, but I got introduced to her by Charles Ledbetter, aka Hexadize. I doxed him. Sorry about that. And yeah, and she must be really, really busy. We did reach out to her to see if she can come on, and you know what, she might still just show up, but we never know. But absolutely, this is so important. I want to touch on, before we move on, I do want to recognize Elias, thank you for joining. Honeycomb, Aaron Hurry, the Real MetaMinds, thank you for joining the space. I do want to give the platform to Lisa Menz and Hexadize currently right now because they are the guest speakers, so I want to learn from them actually. I want to touch upon what Lisa Menz has said about whose responsibility is it to protect on board and safely, make sure that the children and even adults, especially when you're talking about the Web3 or Web2 space, because there's this whole thing, the social engineering aspect of, and it's always been around. So we'll get into that. But Lisa Menz touched upon the responsibility really lies on the parents. Now, you guys, my goodness, I think Lisa bet you by one kid. She popped out one kid more than you. 6 kids, 5 kids, my goodness. So you guys are you guys are, not only are you parents, but you're advocates, not just for the youth, but for humans in general. So when Lisa Menz, when you said that parents, it's the responsibility of the parents to ensure the safety and all this stuff. Of course it is of their children, but especially in this online world. How did you, as a mom, what is the age groups of your children, and when did they start becoming online, and did you have any hesitancies or cautions or fears, whatnot?
Oh boy. Okay. So my eldest turns 30 this year, and my youngest just turned 13. So I've gotten all the letters from Google letting me know that my youngest would be now in charge of their data. And I went, oh, no, I'm still in charge of that data. Because I own the devices, right? I do believe that parents, so it's 30, 28, 26 this year, and then 17, 14 in 2 days, and 13 just about a month ago. I have a couple of Irish twins there at the end. It is because I can sit here and say, with cumulatively 125 years of parenting experience, it has gotten more difficult as we progress, only because there are 252,000 new websites every single day that pop up. So, yes, as a parent, it is our job to individually protect our children. No question about it. However, as a former educator in early childhood learning, and as someone who's been in business, different companies, we do carry some brunt of the responsibility. We have to make sure that the tools are available to parents and educators to do their jobs. And legislators have some responsibility as well, right? Because we elect them into office, and I'm not going to turn this political at all, but we have the difficulty is when we have to translate from legalese to engineering ease to layman's terms for the rest of us and kids to understand all of it, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest, how many of us really sit down and read over the data policies every time we sign up for a website? Or do we click and go? So the reason why Authenticate started and the basis of it is so that companies have what they really need in order to do their job, which is allow parents to do theirs, which is also allowing educators to do theirs. We verify the age of a minor end user without using PII or biometrics. Because once biometrics are compromised, we all know that that's a dark hole nobody wants to go down.
So, okay, hold on. So your 13-year-old that just recently turned 13.
With my kids, being, the eldest being 30, they've all been instrumental in how I wanted this design. Because at 15, I remember we held game night at my house in 2015, and 2011 through 2015, we were holding game nights every Friday night. Never had to cook, never had to clean a dish. It was great. But I came home and my eldest child said, "Mom, do you know what a meat spin is?" And I was like, "Do I want to know what a meat spin is?" And he had discovered this website called Omegle, which is no longer around, but the technology that they used is definitely still there. And the content that they had is definitely still out there. Kids will find what you don't want them to. And if you don't give corporations the ability to say, no, maybe you can have a little or you can have all of it, we're going to be stuck in this very unsafe situation, not just for the kids, but for corporations and adults. We've all, just thinking about regular life, we've all heard the statement, "I thought she was 18," officer. And we've all seen it in the news where kids are getting onto dating sites because they're lying about their age. It's human nature to lie about your age. I have an almost 26-year-old who has profiles out there that say he's 34 because when he was a youngster, he lied about his age and got into everything. In fact, that's how he met his wife that he's now going through a divorce with. It's one of those things where you just go, okay, what can I do so that my kids can still remain kids and adults can still have their space? It's very compartmentalized, I guess, on my part.
It is, and I think it's like
I've always been a people pleaser, so I'm trying to make a lot of people happy at the same time. And I think that this the way we designed it does that.
It is. Hold on, Lisa, you're right. And I think it is very compartmentalized. I do want to do a shout out to hashtag not Snoop. Thank you for joining the space. We're talking about the safety and onboarding children onto technology and Web3. Lisa, just I love what you're saying. I do want to continue with that, but I also want Hexadize's space. What Hexadize's? I forgot the word. Take. That's right. Take on. So you've got 5 children, Hex, and I've seen that maybe they're like teenagers to, I think Lydia was just, anyway, is the youngest one. Oh, I doxed her too. How have you and your wife tackled the whole your children and technology? Like, are they able, do they have their own mobile phones? Are you guys aware of what platforms they're accessing or users of?
So, I mean, it's kind of like Lisa said not too many minutes ago, where she was like, she's got one son that's 34, that he was on things that but he lied about his age, right? And so the real of it is, I could sit here and say I know as much information as I know about my kids' devices and what I put on there, but just like there's apps that like maybe I don't always check the app that says it's one thing, but then actually, or maybe because like it's not that hard to make an app that looks like something, and when you open it, it still is the calculator until you punch in a certain number on the calculator, and then it unlocks the thing. But it works like a calculator just the same until you punch in a certain number, and then it unlocks. So, I mean, my kids could be super, super smart, okay, or just know how to go to YouTube and find the things. Maybe that actually pops up on their YouTube feed because they're a certain age. And because other kids their age look at these things, and so it's an auto fed, like now they have this information to know how to do these things. So that's how I've tackled it, is by accepting that I can't control everything. And what's that? There's a motto. There's a group out there that like their motto is learning to control the things I can, and accepting the things that I can't, and going and living with that. Living with the piece that I did the best I could, right? And that's all I can do. Hoping that I have taught them enough to say, hey, there's bad people out there. And not everybody you talk to is a good person. And all those people that are on Roblox are like, hey, I'll trade you this, I'll send you this if you send me that, because it's like all the time, right? And it's part of the game. That is part of Roblox, is to trade. So to identify good trades versus bad trades and to filter those things out, right, is honestly maybe skills that they have perfected beyond mine. And maybe if there's a good chance I'll probably get scammed before they will nowadays. I'll be that person on Amazon, $9,000 for a book.
And Hex, you know what? I'm 1,000% behind you, because as a parent, we've now had to evolve, right, with the internet and our kids, and go from stranger danger, the guy in the white van with the candy, right, to strange behavior, right? For example, my eldest, we used to laugh because I was a single mom, so I would get these DMs, and he was always the guy who wanted to chat back to these guys and go after them. And I let him, and I thought it was hysterical, and we thought it was funny. My youngest now, they actually can identify strange behavior better than I can a lot of times, but they still give out too much PII without, and that's for those who may not know, and I don't want to assume that people know things when they pop in here, because I didn't know things when I popped in the first time. But PII is personally identifiable information. So, like with Augmented, we give age group information to the corporations. That is not personally identifiable. If they're between the ages, and our age groups were designed prior to California's age appropriate design code launch, which unfortunately failed, but at the same time, it looked like it might have been a train wreck. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. We did 0 to 5, 6 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15 because COPA, GDPR, and a wide variety of other federal level type laws operate in that age group. And then we did 16 years to 17 years and 11 months because, for the very simple reason, Hex, as you know, as a parent, we're still legally responsible for our kids, whether it's on a device in their hand or behind the wheel of a car or a legal instrument at a bank. We're still legally responsible. We still have to sign right behind them for everything. So we went all the way to 18. Because let's be honest, most of these kids, when they lie about their age, are like, okay, I could lie and say I'm 14. Because the average age for a kid to get a mobile device of their own using that they're not sharing with anybody else is 10. And within about 6 months, according to statistics, they are on social media. So, they're not going to lie and say they're 14. They're going to lie and say they are maybe 16, 17 if they can pull it off with their face. But now, with the evolution of avatars and things like that being so popular, they can lie and say they're 25 and nobody's going to know, unless they're prepubescent and their voices haven't changed at all. So, and the anonymity of the internet allows them that. So when we're talking about protecting our kids, like I said, it's even protecting them from themselves. But yeah, I'm 1,000% behind you. We have to just kind of, and I'm a Gen Xer, so it's one of those things where I go, look, I did the best with the tools that I had at the time, and it's my job to create a better tool, which was what I think we've done.
I think that's great. I love that you and Hex are like tech forward, and your mindset in terms of technology and how you adapt that with family life and your children is like amazing. I hope that all parents take that attitude, but unfortunately they don't. Like, for example, I remember a few years back when Snapchat was a thing, or even just the iPad came out, or mobile phones. I would hear parents say how proud they were that their children, they were saying, oh, Johnny or whatever, or Sally is so smart. They know what to do with their phones, and they're always tapping, 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 tapping. And there's this thing called Snap, and they're always so busy. And these parents, bless their ignorant souls, they were so happy and proud to show off that their children knew technology and were on these things, and they were proud to say that. Well, this is what I felt. Maybe they weren't proud, but this was the energy I was definitely getting off of these parents. Was like, oh, and they're on this, they're in their room, and they're talking to whoever, and I don't even know, but oh, they're so tech than I am. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you effing kidding me? You're so, that you're happy that your children
laugh on that one.
No, yeah, you're happy. Yes, you're happy that your children are in a room talking that you don't know what, and you're proud that they're on their phone and doing these things, and you don't, and you're actually saying you're proud that they're smarter than you and you don't know this stuff. I was so livid. And I remember there was one I think it was like a party where I literally was livid, and I said, are you kidding me? And I told the parents in the room, I said, if you don't, and I go, and this is the problem. Like, you're the parents, you need to know what's going on. You should never, ever, it will happen, but honestly, you should never really allow a child to know more than you until they do know more than you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just give up as the numbers of your age get larger. It's ridiculous.
Totally agree.
I want to welcome Thors into the room. Skybox, thanks for joining again. I thought you dropped off, but I'm glad you're back here. Dads, oh my God, Dads, thanks for joining. This is like a really Dad's NFT project. That's really great. Sorry, Elise, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
You're good. I was raised with a saying from my dad, which is, there is no saturation point to knowledge. That was his quote. And someday I'll get that tattooed. But it's burned in my brain. And my kids are genuinely teaching me more about technology every day. Do you remember how many of you remember the movie 10 Things I Hate About You? Does anybody remember that movie? Okay. So do you remember the scene where they talk about dating and they make the daughter put the belly on because he's an OBGYN? That is what my kids liken me to in regards to data. I am that mom. I'm like, are you really giving my youngest, because she's so involved with technology and on a lot, especially during the summer, and she has lots of online friends. Due to COVID, we had this generation. We had to make some compromises, right? But we needed to do it in a healthy manner. My rule is that she can't be on an audio or video call without me in the room.
Oh my God, I love that. How old is she?
13.
Is she how does she take that? Is she accepting of it, or is she kind of like disgruntled about that?
It depends on the day. Again, 13.
True.
It varies. Again, and here's the other thing too is, my 14-year-old is an avid Roblox player. The one who will be 14 in 2 days. She has Down syndrome and would play Roblox 24/7 if I let her. She YouTubes and she Robloxes, and I try to explain, we've got, it's very overstimulated in my house because I'll have my stuff going, and then there's Roblox or YouTube, and then there's Lyric, which is her online name. We have Melody and Lyric, but Lyric is online, and she has her stuff going, and I'll catch something out of my ear, and I'm like, whose device was that? Because something was inappropriate, and 9 times out of 10, to be honest, it's Melody on YouTube because of the algorithms. She might have gone down a wormhole with something about, a toy, or, like watching Ryan's World, and ends up in a some sort of Barbie fictional video about Hex. Jump in anytime. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Take your mic off mute, buddy. That Barbie's giving birth to something, and you just go, whoa, hold on a second. How do we, we're dealing in my house with, Irish twins who've gone through puberty a month apart, and oh my God, yeah.
Okay, that's insane.
In my house.
No, that's insane. I love that you're there when your kids are like on these devices, and I love that you seem to have like a good grasp of like what they're doing online, all aside from the algorithms that serve them inappropriate content. Hexidize, and
how they get there.
Yes, Hex. I know that Hex, when he found Over the Reality and he started creating content in AR, or even before that, he actually involved his whole family and his children. He involved them in the treasure hunt thing. And I don't know if they, I guess some of them understood like what the treasure hunt was, and they enjoyed that. But now Hexadice has come to a point where his children are already learning AR and I guess AI. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Hexadice?
Yeah, so we homeschool here, and we have for the past several years. Especially, it really got easier once COVID happened, because then it was like, it was really normal then. But so that we had an advantage to go into some of these things, right? Because we can learn at our own pace. We can, focus on specific topics. So one of our kids is really into science, right? They love robotics. They love putting things together. They love the hardware side of things, and so so for them, they really like to do those things. So that's their main focus. And then the other one, they're really into the sports. So they probably spend more time focused on the sports side than they do on the robotic side. And so we have these advantages here to be able to do that. And I really, really enjoy it. And so they've gotten involved in most of the things we do. So some of the activities that we've gotten in are really geared towards just they're the future, right? So I can sit here and go and make all the things that I want to make and do all the things that I want to do, but at the end of the day, who's going to be using it tomorrow? And that's them. They're the ones that they will be here. They're the future. So what is it that they're going to be using it for? I don't have to try and figure it out. I can just ask them, hey, what is it that you're trying to do with this? And then now, since I started just asking them, now they go and just do it themselves, and they love messing with the AIs. The creativity of it is gotten pretty extravagant. So from the 3D creation and the art side of things to the creating the story and the lore, or the AI chatbots, right? The different ones that you can just I want you to work like this. The different models, designing models, and just having a lot of fun with it. So they are about to, I feel like there's going to be, in the next 6 to 8 months, I'm going to be an obsolete object, and I will just be that guy again that's just hanging out on the couch, just saying random things that are like, useless, Dad. We figured it out before you, because they're going to be able to know things now. And it's crazy. I'm not sure that I'm ready for them to know all these things.
But that's the goal. That's the goal.
That is the goal. That is the goal.
Most people are so hung up on the phrase raising children when it's wrong. We're not raising children. We don't want the next generation to be dependent upon us. We want to raise them to be adults. We're raising young adults. We're raising the next generation of, citizens who are giving into the community as, employees, as entrepreneurs, as thought leaders. And you have to teach them that independence. And I am so excited for your family that they are embracing that journey. I am also homeschooling Lyric, interestingly enough. And it's absolutely child-led. I think that's part of and we could talk about education.
Oh yeah,
for years.
Yeah, we can go all day.
Yeah, I mean, when kids are engaged, it's because they're enjoying the subject matter. My child, in the environment that she has enjoyed, is she's very outspoken and very sometimes to my detriment, and I have to pull the reins a little bit, like, take it easy. Not everybody has the same heart that you do. And so teaching them how to communicate online or offline, because it can cross, right? One of the things that I had Lyric do this year was I had her read about Stonewall and write a report about it. She hated the writing part. And I horribly teased her about being able to be cryptic at some point because I could write in cursive and she would not understand what I was saying. But but at the same time, it was something she was interested in, and I just allowing them to engage in topics, and these are topics that we would not have been able to engage in public school, because they weren't taught. And the internet is a wonderful, dangerous, amazing place. It's a research hound's dream world. And we want our kids, I think, to research and develop their own opinions and grow, and you can't grow without stubbing your toe every once in a while. And so we have to teach our kids how to come back from that too, So, but I mean, how do you have like a schedule, like a certain amount of time that they're allowed to be online in your house, or plugged in? Do you make them go outside and throw the football, or go take a walk? Well, how do you do balance in your house like that? Because that's where I'm struggling currently.
Oh no, they walk, right, Hex? No, they walk. They touch grass. They roll around in the grass. Go ahead, Hex. But I see it. They walk.
I mean, so do I force them to go outside? I don't know. I have to force them to go outside to be real, because they are active in sports. Like, so even if their season, whatever sport they're playing, is done, they're at their sibling's sport, and so we're usually doing something. And as they get older, I feel like we're doing more of their things and less of our things, which is good. That's the goal. That's why I had kids, was so I could do their things forever, right? But yeah, so making them go outside isn't too bad. I have run into this, especially with like my younger ones. The older ones, it's not so much. I think because maybe we were in a different position when they were younger, right? So they just really didn't have things. Whereas like the younger ones, they're really growing up with these devices because the older ones had them. So whatever the older one has, the younger one really already has. So the phones and the devices at nighttime, right? Like bedtime, like it's 2 a.m. and it's 2 a.m. and you're like, hey, go to sleep. And the 8-year-old's looking at you like, why? I just can't sleep. I know you can't sleep. You're going to be tired. I don't know what you're talking about. But I did that as a kid. I was the kid that like crawled down the hallway to see if my parents were asleep and then would turn on the TV real low. But back then we had those TV. Yeah. Like,
or reading a book with a flashlight under the blanket so nobody could see you.
But see, I was allowed to do that. Like, if we were reading books, my mom was like, "You're reading, whatever." And I tell my kids the same thing. If you're reading, like, you're already bored. So, more power to you. But just the devices. I don't care if you're awake. If you're awake because you're awake, that's fine. You're doing something with your time. Do something with your time. But it's what are you doing with your time? Right. And the algorithms at 2 a.m. on YouTube are different than the algorithms at 2 p.m. They are.
No doubt.
Okay. I hate to bring this up, but are you guys not fearful, but what are your thoughts on like AI coming into the picture? Because I know that, like, I'm gonna bring this up. I know that when I was active with this 3D metaverse world called Second Life back in 2003, there was a huge issue with it. There was like so in the terms of avatars, Second Life had an issue where there's the whole pedophilia going on, right? So with Second Life, you can easily get an avatar and you don't know who is behind that avatar. So there was this role play going on in Second Life where they can get child avatars. Like there were people chose to be like children avatars, and then they had like their mom and dad or whoever, and people were raising the issue about this is wrong. Like even if the child, even if the, hold on, Lisa, just a sec, I'll let you speak. Even if the child avatar was a 32-year-old male or female, and they just wanted to do that role play, that representation alone was like just not a thing. So how Second Life resolved that issue was you had to verify that you were 18 and over. And of course, they didn't want to, what's it called, not allow children that opportunity to engage in a metaverse world. So what they did was they created a separate Second Life for children, and where and adults can, the only time an adult can actually go on that server was if they were a they had to prove through documentation that they were an educator. So only educators could go on that on that sim or simulator or server where the children were, and the child had to get permission from the parents. So that's how they dealt with that whole age issue and that whole pedophilia issue. So nowadays we know this. It is rampant. Like the whole human trafficking, sex trafficking, and that it is rampant, and it is even happening today. So yes, it's easy for us to be sitting where we're sitting, to have our 6 children, 5 children. We know where they are. We know we've kind of like taught them about education and technology and how to handle stuff. But what about all those people who are out there who don't have that? How are we going to solve that? And now here comes AI. And you also know that a lot of grown women and men get conned. Grown women and men get conned at adult ages by other people that they meet online.
Absolutely. And I could speak on this topic for all day.
I'm sure you can. I just want to welcome Honeycomb. Honeycomb, thank you for joining. I know you have a lot to say as well. I believe you're part of the MetaMinds with Hexadize and everything like that. LM Designs, thank you for joining. Thor's, Kane Mayfield, love that you're here. Elias, I know that Megacity, you're here before. I saw Hexagonaut, thank you so much for joining. We are talking about, I guess, the safety of children and onboarding in Web3 and technology, especially when it is June International Children's Month. What were you going to say, Lisa?
So I'm really surprised that Second Life didn't get popped for COPA fines with collecting the data prior to getting the information from their parents. Because in order to ask for their parents' information, they would have to know that they were indeed minors under the age of 13. And the anonymity of such a situation can be very dark. Which is why we're doing what we're doing. And we're actually using enhanced AI on our next development beyond our prototype to be able to discern the age groups, predominantly because that's where everybody's headed. And we want to be able to make this available to everyone. The beauty of it for us is that the authentic key, no family should ever have to pay for their child's security online. There are companies out there which thank you for doing the job that needed to be done at the time. But it's not enough. You've got too many people, too many different opportunities for people to do things that are not appropriate, whether it's an adult or a child. And you have to know what level of intellect and logic and reasoning you're dealing with. Are you dealing with a predator who's actually trying to that has malintent, or are you dealing with a child who really doesn't know better? Even though they might have been told, they're still doing what they want to do. Because that's what kids do.
It's true. No, that's true. I love I love the input and the insights you bring up, Lisa, and also with Hex. Kane Mayfield, I saw you. I'm bringing you up as a speaker. I do want to hear from Honeycomb first. I believe he requested to speak first. Now that we're opening it up to the audience, if you want to have your input or share or ask Lisa or Hexadize a question, please request to speak, and I'll bring you up. Honeycomb, it's great to see you on stage.
I think Grand Rising topic today is amazing. Month of June is another month to empower others with a nice focus on children. And Lisa, you mentioned Stonewall, and there's a lot of things people aren't aware of, and it's just great to be in here with people that give a shit about others and actually focus on the problems by providing solutions, or at least discussing potential solutions. And just the kid focus, all of it's amazing. So glad to be here. And with Real Metamines down there, I'm kind of engagement farming with it. Feel free to give it a follow. On the 31st, we'll have Erica K. Webster live. She transitioned in 68. She was at Stonewall. Just a little alpha for you. We'll get that all together.
Oh wow! Thanks, Honeycomb. Definitely gave Metaminds a follow. Kane, welcome. How it's been a while. I've seen. Thank you for joining the space. I saw you were hosting a space a few days ago, and I was going to pop in, but then real life took me. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm fine. Just working. What up, Hex? Just doing selling box, moving box.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you have now? I don't mean to dox you, but do you have children?
Yeah.
How are they are they adult age or non-adult age?
No. Small kid. I don't know how any of that's gonna affect. Like, I have a very different household, so I don't see any of that being a problem.
Oh, that's great. How do you like with them and technology? Do you have any like concerns, or you've raised them to a point where you know that they will be accountable and responsible for what they do online?
Yeah, he's a kid, so I'm responsible for what he does online. So no screen. Like, people think they need it because it's a cheap babysitter. Wow. They don't.
I love
That's what I told my girl. What did you do before screens? And she's like, well, it's just that. I was like, I don't like Miss Rachel. I don't like her face. I don't like her looking through my TV at me. I don't like the way she looks at my son. I just don't like it. So no. But kids love Miss Rachel. I'm sure they do. And kids are whack. So fuck them. Mr. Rogers was fine, so I'll put Mr. Rogers on. Darkwing Duck is approved programming. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, approved programming. That's right.
There you go.
Kane's kids are going to wake up in 2033 and be like, what do you mean it's not 1987?
and then I describe history to them. A lot of times it's just me reading what my wife calls very heady books to them and explaining them.
Yeah, that's right.
Scarlet Pimpernel, buddy. We're gonna do Pimpernel. Okay, come up here. Come.
Oh my God, I love this. Hex, you're so funny. You're funny. No, Kane, I love that. There you go. You heard it from the words of out of the babe's mouth.
Yeah, he does that when I'm on the phone because he wants. He was over there playing with his ball. He saw me talking on the phone. He imagines it's his mother. And now he's kind of looking at me like, why aren't you showing a video of my mom to me so I can smile bashfully and point at it?
Oh, wow.
And since I'm not doing that, he's going to demand my attention in a very aggressive manner. But I do not respond to such tactics. I will not live with terrorists. The same way I don't be quiet when he's sleeping because he doesn't pay taxes.
I love it. I vacuum with my kids. I'm like, get used to this right here. This is how it's going to be. Every time you nap, just get used to this. Bam, bam, hitting the wall with it too. Yeah, it's good. It's training because it happens when I take a nap. It's training for me now. So it works both ways.
You know what?
Okay.
Hex, Kane, that's hilarious. I don't have a kid. I have a dog who is like a kid, and she sleeps with me in bed. And the thing is, I'm up late watching YouTube. I'm on Spaces, yakking away till 3, 4 in the morning on the weekends. And she's learned to sleep with like a nightlight on and me yakking away and laughing so loud. So yeah, they have to, like, it is what it is. It's crazy. I love that. I love hearing your take, and I love that we got to hear your kid do a shout out to his mom or whatever. This is like amazing. Yes. So guys, it's 3 minutes to the hour. You know what? We can go on and on. Like Lisa said, and Hex, this topic is like never ending. We haven't even gotten to what I know I had given you like touch points, like speaking points of what we were going to touch on. We haven't really gotten to, I mean, it's just a flowing conversation. I mean, there's so much to say. Each and every one of you and each and every one of us in the space, we have our own, I guess, story, because we were kids once, we were young once when we had to adapt to technology. So that's another thing. Like, how did we go through that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've been scammed. Like, it's crazy. And just because we're talking about children do grow up as adults. And the funny thing is, we were children as well. So I love what Lisa said. It's not just about the youth. It's about just everybody in general. Or did Hexadai say that, where we have to protect ourselves? It's a huge issue. There's so many issues with online technology, or just technology in general, or not even technology. Just issues with the youth and how they're treated, or even humans. It's like crazy. I don't even know where to go or where to start.
It's about human respect first and foremost, in my opinion. And I think it's important for us to come at it from a perspective of, okay, I was a kid once, I did dumb stuff. How can I try and allow them to still do some dumb stuff, but not dumb stuff that's going to last a lifetime, right? Sure, maybe the memory should last, but the injury itself should not last. Like we were talking earlier, and yes, I'm homeschooling my youngest. However, I didn't homeschool my older kids. And one of the things I learned is kids are sneaky. So are adults. Yes, Mel. See, Mel's here to say no, Mom. Yes, no. Okay. Yes, y'all are sneaky. Well, so am I. That's how I know what you do. But kids can get on the school bus, download an app, play with it all day, take it off, and parents don't know because maybe they're too trusting, or maybe they're using a Vault app like Hex mentioned, where it looks like a calculator, but it's not. It's hiding different apps that they like to be on. 252,000 new websites every single day. We have to think like we did when they were their age. And sometimes that yields the helicopter parents, or it yields trusting parents. Kane, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a whole thing for this already. I'm prepared for because he's half me and half his mother, which is fucking dangerous. So I'm in the process now of just breaking his will. There'll be none of that. Absolutely none of that. This is a very Guyanese household. So because it's a very Guyanese household, there's like no Geneva Convention. It's just great. So none of that. Also, I'm already raising him like a lawyer. It's kind of hard now because he doesn't speak English, but we're working on the English part. Just said banana today. I was very happy, very pleased. You can have what you want. You want a phone? You can have a phone. Make your case. Lay your argument out. Why should you have a phone? I'm not the prosecutor. I'm the judge. Now prosecute your own case. Why shouldn't you have a phone? And if you take it easy on yourself, I'm going to rule against you. If you can effectively argue both sides of something, the world of people will seem like easy mode, especially if you can argue with me. So I'm going to teach him how to discern and to use critical thinking skills, and on a sliding scale morality.
I did the same thing, Kane. I'm going to tell you with my youngest, and it bit me right in the ass. I'm going to be really honest. It really did. And now that they are 13, woo! I'm sending you all the good vibes, though, man. I really hope it works out in your favor. She will be a lawyer, I promise.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And yes, I'm very much prepared.
My kids are she.
Oh yeah. I'm very much prepared for the Backlashingtons. Also, I'm not American, so I have a series of punishments that the parents in this neighborhood have never seen before. I was talking about it at a barbecue recently. They're all very excited. I live in Nowheresville, so like it's rural cosplaying is no, never. My son's a year and some change, and the internet's never seen him.
That's good.
Ever.
Yes.
In fact, most people don't even know I have a kid. Most people know I have a wife, but no one really knows I have a kid.
That's great, because that's a big problem too. Is that with AI and the oversharing of photographs and
yes,
the AI augmented reality pedophilia stuff that's going on. Yeah, I stopped sharing pictures of my kids like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my pictures up. Yeah, people put their porno there, so I don't want to put pictures of my baby where people put their porno. It seems like an inappropriate place. Same way I don't bring him to bars. One, he can't, he's just not a fun drunk. Two, people put their promiscuous prostitutes in there. He just doesn't have any money. It's just a bum ass friend. So I just keep him home and feed him kitty milk, and little chip things he likes made of.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm glad you brought that up, because you know what peeves me is when parents have postings of their children, and their children don't even know. Like, their children are 1, 2, 3, 4. They have no say on what their parents are posting. The parents are riding on these TikTok, IG, online trends with kids, and the kids don't have any say. And to me, that kind of like that really gets me, because it's like, well, wait a minute, you're treating your child as a commodity or whatever, or as a subject. And the number one thing is, and people are saying this online, calling out parents who are posting things about their children. You're literally feeding the pedophilia. You are giving them like what they want and what they need. And that's kind of sick to me. Well, that's just my personal opinion, but I know you guys have thoughts on that. I'm really glad that Kane is fathering in his own way, is parenting. He's doing his parenting thing, and he kind of like sounds like my dad and stuff. And look at me. I'm all over the place online. That's hilarious. But Kane, I love your insight. Thank you for joining. You are hilarious. Oh my God, you and Hex, Lisa, we could talk forever. And I did say, please, Lisa, you need to host your own spaces. You are amazing. Hexadize, as always, thank you for joining. This was your space. I'm probably going to give it back to you soon. I'm kidding. But thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a voice with your Tech Talk Tuesday. I'm going to kill you, Hex. Honeycomb, it's great to see you. I want to do a shout out to the Xenu community, Thors and Cortez. Oh my God, Cortez, I love it. So glad for your support here. Hashtag Skybox, Omega City, Real. Elias, as always, thank you. We're going to end soon. If you have any last words, and make it short, please go. Lisa, I'll start with you.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. I'm absolutely going to start my own space talking about these very same things. Would absolutely love any of you to come on. It's just been an honor. Augmented is the company that I am a co-founder of, and would love for you to all follow that everywhere on social media. LisaMan6 is my username on most social media as well, unless it's personal and private, and that's a whole other area. But please follow me under LisaMan6. And I just thank you so much, everyone. Keep an eye out for Augmented and the Authentic Key being made free to and available to all kids, because I don't think that parents and kids should have to pay for their own security. And the Authentic Lock, helping companies deny, augment, limit, or open access to kids, and can also be used as a two-factor authentication method for schools. So thank you very much.
Oh, that's great. I want to learn more about Authenticate as well. Hex.
Yeah, pick up if you can all of the little maps around the world on Over the Reality. I think there's a few of them. There's like few days left, couple days left for the triple rewards or whatever's going on over there. It looks like they have a job posting if you're into that kind of thing where you can go out, get paid to map and get paid to map some more and do all those kind of fun things, get paid to paid and get paid to pay. That's cool too. Go check that out. There's a lot of things happening over there. I think you got that spot coming up on Thursdays. Web3 Wednesdays is coming back on LinkedIn. I'll be there tomorrow. That's coming back. We got MetaMinds. It's going to be on Sunday. Web3 Wednesdays on LinkedIn. And MetaMinds Sundays here, Wednesdays there. Because why not? We're going to expand to everywhere. So lots of cool things happening just around the corner. We're setting up to do some cool things. It's going to be a fun summer. Let's get it. And yeah, just all those fun jazz things. I don't know. What else do you want me to say? Am I supposed to be like super hyped now? I don't have a board with me. And I was thinking about making some jokes, but I got caught up in this metaverse radio thing on this schedule, and it looks like Tech Talk Tuesdays, and you got your logo on there. I'm watching it, looking at it on metaverse radio right now, and it's looking really groovy. I mean, that's probably the best place to tune in and catch live music or different things is metaverse radio. But I'll digress, digital fam.
That is hilarious. That is so true. You're just everywhere. I love it. I love it. Yes, I'm also going to be doing the Thursday mix on Thursdays. I don't know why, and it's just I don't even know what it's going to be. I kind of have an idea, but I'll do a shout out when that's starting. I don't even know when that's starting. Kane, do you have any last words? Not last words, but do you have anything to say before the space ends? Love that you came on.
Yeah. So Hex, my AR guy was recommending OVR. We didn't end up going with it, but it wasn't as distasteful as I imagined it would be.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. And your AR guy, by the way, on that album, like props to the chef. I mean, everything over there is beautiful. Everything about the album is already beautiful. And the whole concept of what you've got going on with your ears and your albums and your merch.
Did you see Box?
I am wishing I was a real maxi because I would be a Kane. If I was like, if you're a Bitcoin maxi and you're not a Kane maxi, then you're not a Bitcoin maxi. Let's just put it like that. That's just
you don't have to be a Bitcoin maxi.
You don't have to be a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just telling you, like it's just everything about it's perfect. It's just good. It's tasty.
People bought that with fiat, right?
Yeah, they used their credit card. They got this blockchain dusted up album with credit cards.
Yeah, I was being nice. I'm not being nice anymore, but I was being nice for a small window of time.
Niceness is gone. He said, box is closed.
Yeah, it's back to burn to redeem now. So, but yeah, AR is very fun, and the more panels, the better.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Like, who is this AR guy?
My buddy Ebro.
Oh yeah, I know him. I met him in NYC NFT. He's like, he's hell of an amazing human. Shout out to him. I'm glad he is your AR guy. Love it, love it, love it. This is like amazing. I'm gonna ask him how come. Okay, what's up with the over? We'll talk about that. Kane, we have Over the Reality Space, weekly space on Thursdays at about 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. If you want to join, I'll send you a link just in case, because I want to know why you guys did not go with over. But that's another thing.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a great Tuesday. And as always, stay safe wherever you are in RL or online. You do you. I really appreciate like you guys coming on. You don't have to be on this space, but you are. And all of those watching, you lurkers, you. I really want to get people on instead of just me, my freaking head, just chatting away or sometimes just staying still and listening. We will have people on. It'll just happen when it happens. But everybody have a great day and a great rest of your week. And yeah, see you. Let's all see each other on Hex's Space tomorrow. And Lisa Mans, I'm waiting for that invite for your your first official space that you're hosting.
You got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye everyone. Bye LM, Cortez, Thors, Elias, Honeycomb, the Mega City, hashtag Skybox NFT and Real MetaMinds. All right, now let's play the song that was created by AI. Blup, blup, blup. Where is it? My goodness, here we go. Welcome. It should say goodbye. Gather around and share stories and watch our knowledge flow. We're building what breathes a future that's bright and new. Come join the conversation. There's so much we can do. From blockchain to AI, the latest tech is here. We're diving deep, exploring how it all appears. Connect with the experts, contribute to the code. Let's revolutionize together and watch our dreams unfold. Welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday, where ideas ignite. Let's learn, let's connect, let's take our future to new heights. We're here to stay, let's build something truly great. Tech Talk Tuesday, the podcast that can't wait. All right, all right. That was like a really great conversation to me, or topic of conversation. I wish we could do more. There was so much that Lisa Mans had shared. Wow, she really knows her stuff, obviously. Like if you're a mom with 6 kids and you are in this space of technology and being a co-founder of Authentic Kid, I know I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I wanted to like post some stuff up onto Twitter for all the stuff that she was saying. I also wanted to share a bunch of what Hex was doing, but I guess that's for another day. Maybe we will do that. We'll carry on that conversation when Lisa Mans hosts her own space, because there's so much this topic with online privacy and handling of data, not just our adult data, but with children's data. And I'm talking children like 18 years and younger, or 16 years and younger, wherever you may be. That's huge. That is so huge. And it'll become even a bigger issue with AI. Or will it? Will AI actually be able to solve that kind of data issue? Not sure. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining. And for those of you who are watching out there on Twitter, I know it's crazy. It's just me and my face. I'm going to work on next time bringing people on. It's just easy, to have people onto the stream. I just have to make sure that it's the audio and the feedback. But I'm glad you stayed to watch. Right now, I am going to get to work, but at the same time, I'm going to join the DYOR live stream on YouTube that's happening in 1 minute. And I can send you a link, or just DM me, or you can just follow Pedro. Let me see, what is his X thing? It's Pedro Junior Garcia 79. Pedro Junior Garcia 79. Follow him. I believe he will share a link to their YouTube live where they talk about crypto and everything. And look at that, they're kind of like live now. Oh no, this was yesterday. All right. Okay. So thanks for watching and joining. And as always, see you next week on Tech Talk Tuesday. But, we'll also be live streaming the Over Community Space on Thursday morning. Anyway, ciao. Bye-bye. Ba-da-ba-da.